Okay.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We are live back on HireMilitary on our LinkedIn page, our Facebook page, and YouTube channel. I'm Matt Quick with HireMilitary. If you're on Facebook right now, come on over to LinkedIn. It's a great professional social media network. You got to have an account anyway. It's great for you. But today, we've got a Navy personnel joining us. I love our Navy guys and girls because Chris Dorn, a counterpart in HireMilitary, he's Navy.
Mhm.
We spar back and forth about who's better and stuff, but we know the Marines are the best. But today, Navy. So Marina Rabinek is on us today, and she's going to tell us about her life in the military, why she joined. She's going through a transition shortly, and she volunteers her time on everything. But first, she's in her car because she's always working. So, hey, Marina, welcome, and tell us about yourself today.
Hey Matt. So I have been in about 23 and a half years. I joined in my mid 20s. Um, I worked and lived overseas for quite a while, and then I came back to the States and decided because my first name is Marina that I would join the Navy.
That
No,
makes
I'm
sense.
being
I like
silly.
that.
I'm being silly. But no, my mother always told me, with your name, you definitely should. But um, my my whole passion and purpose is to serve others, and that is what the Navy's all about. I mean, it's a we are serving the entire country with our being active duty, and that's what I love to do. I'm all about helping people and training people, and that's the job I do as an equal opportunity person in the Navy.
So you've been training people for years. It looks like based on your profile, training development manager, diversity inclusion. That's the pretty cool stuff right now.
It is. I mean, it's very needed right now. I mean, it's always been needed, but it's very much in the forefront right now with everything that is going on with Black Lives Matter and stuff. So, and I always make sure that I talk to all of my my sailors um, and all of my colleagues, because I want them to understand why, like, what the hashtag really means, because some people don't understand why it's a whole separate hashtag from any other community of people, and so I make sure that they understand, like, this is about being seen, no longer being invisible, and yeah, so you can tell I'm passionate about it.
No,
I
and,
get
and
really
this
like, yeah.
this is definitely a good conversation. It's a tough conversation, but it's
It
definitely
is.
needed these days. And people like you that lead this effort, I don't feel. Listen, I couldn't do this right now. I would love to do it, but I don't know how. This is why people like you are so important to this community
Mhm.
because you can break down the barriers when it comes to these conversations. So, hey, for that, we thank you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I I've done so many of these personality tests, and everything about my personality test says that I'm a relationship builder. That I need the position that I need to go into needs to be where I talk with people, where I train people, where I innovate and create, because that's just who I am as a person. And so training for me is, and that's why I'm looking at HR, like the ODHR realm, because that's where most training happens in a corporation.
That's right. And in the military, we're all, if you're a leader of any kind, you're normally a trainer, whether it's small group, whether it's large group, we're
Right.
all trainers. And all
Yep.
that, believe it or not, all that falls under the HR realm in the civilian world. So if you've
Hmm.
been a sergeant or a petty officer, hey, training development may be something that you want to look forward to in the civilian world when you get out because that's all we do right there, right?
Absolutely.
So where are you at right now? So
Absolutely.
you're based in San Diego, right?
I am, yes.
So it's nice weather there, beautiful.
Right now it is, well, it says 69 degrees. That can't be right. It's more like 70 something right now.
So it's
Typical
beautiful. So we're all
typical San
jealous
Diego
then.
weather.
So we're all jealous then. Well, we appreciate it. So you transition soon, right? When do you actually retire finally? Or
So right now, my date is February 21. I have an extension that I'm waiting for the response back. I haven't gotten anything back from Millington, which is where our Bureau of Personnel is. I haven't got that response back yet, whether or not my extension has been approved. So I'm going with worst case scenario, that it's going to be February of this year.
Be
or,
positive,
no, sorry,
right?
Year.
Be positive.
No, I mean, but I am. No, I'm not a positive person at all. No, I'm a very positive person, but I just want to be ready in case.
Of course,
you know.
You got a plan. So, are you extended because of COVID or what?
Yes, I was doing 6 months because of COVID. Yep.
That is so smart.
Thank you. My husband thought so too.
Spouses are so
important. It was his idea. it was more his idea than mine. I was like, but no, I understood. I understood his point, and he's in school. My daughter's in school, and then there's me doing the active duty thing.
So as a leader going through that, because you've already had your retirement date, and some leaders say, you know what, I made a commitment. I'm getting out this date right here. As a leader, what made you change your mind, and would you recommend that for others too?
I would recommend it if there is especially if there's a financial reason behind it. I would absolutely recommend it. And it has been changed now. It's not just 6 months to a year for even the lower ranking sailors in the Navy. Now you can do up to 2 years extension. Yeah, because of COVID. Because when you think about it, most younger sailors don't have like a lot of savings and things like that. So they're giving them the time. Like 2 years, you could put a lot away. TSP or whatever, put stuff in savings and have that. Just, a few $100 a month for 2 years. I mean, that's a good little chunk of money that you can survive
and
a little bit.
This is important, not just for COVID, separation, but anytime.
Right.
I preach about it right now. If you reduce your debt, have a little bit of savings, your transition is so maybe stress and anxiety free, if not free, so reduced you can actually think straight, and it's a great thing about it.
Right. Because I think a lot of people, when they're transitioning, that's what they're worrying about. Like, I need money. I have to have a job. And I think when you don't have that hanging over your head, then you can concentrate more on, let me find something that aligns with my purpose, that aligns with my passion, and that's what I'm doing. And I went around it for a while. I was like, I was like, gosh, do I really want to do like the D&I thing, the diversity and inclusion thing? Because I already do it now. Do I really want to stay in that route? Because when I think of HR, I think, let me explain to you your benefits, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, Marina, please. Chris Thorne, she means that in a good way.
So he told me, he's like, Marina, that is not what we're all about. And I was like, ooh, sorry, I touched the nerve.
That's right. HR is so big. They have the experts in the law and policy. They have training and training development, diversity inclusion. HR is such a big realm. But you're right. You're in a good spot right now because diversity and inclusion is so needed, and your value may have gone up by all these current things in our situation in our country right now, right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm looking right now. Like at this time, I'm looking for DoD skill bridge opportunities, either in San Diego. So I live in the county that's above it. So I live in Riverside County. So I'm looking at like San Diego County, Riverside County, if they have any, which, not really. And then, of course, remote, because a lot of people are still doing remote.
True.
Because I know that a lot of the states now, the cases are spiking again because of going back too early, or also the people not wearing the protection when they're going to protests and stuff like that. So, I absolutely support the protests, but going out there and being safe about it is also something people need to
it's a balance.
With COVID.
It's
it is,
balance,
right.
Definitely.
Right, exactly.
So you're looking for a DoD skill bridge in that area for you, and the DoD skill bridge, for those that aren't not sure what it is, during your last 6 months of service, you can go work for the company and learn civilian trades or some experience behind you. That way, maybe you can get a job immediately afterwards, or have that in your resume for the next job. So, like you said, you want a job which you want to do, not you have to do, which
Right.
is why it's so important to get DoD skill bridge opportunity, pay down that debt, those kind of things. That way, you can do what you want to do and not, what you have to do. It's freeing. It's freeing.
It is, and what I mean, for like you said, as an explanation, DoD skill bridge is basically an internship. You can do up to 6 months. Most of them are around 12 weeks that I've seen.
3 to 4 months, true.
Yeah. So you're basically interning at a company, but you're still getting paid by the military, and it's great. I mean, there's so many different ways to do that too. I know people that have done Hire Our Heroes cohorts in order to do that. There's so many different things that I am so glad that people have told me about, like the Commit Foundation.
Yeah.
For example, is phenomenal. You get an executive coach. I mean, what? Do you know how much those are worth? A lot.
That is true.
Somebody to help you with your resume. I mean, I like, that's the industry. They have people. They have resume people on there. They have people to help you figure out your purpose. I mean, I try to volunteer with different groups because I really, like I said, I'm all about helping other people, and that's just me in a nutshell.
And that's valuable in itself. So can you tell us, so what are some tools that, besides DoD Skill Bridge, have you used during your transition to prepare yourself?
So like I said, Commit Foundation is definitely one of them. That's the industry. It's the by state, the different kinds of veteran service organizations, or VSOs, that you can use.
VSOs are so important.
Oh my gosh. I've signed up with USO Pathfinder. I'm going to sign up for to do my PHR via O2O, which is Onward to Opportunity.
So explain that for everybody, if you could.
Yeah. So the one that I would be using would be the one up at Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California. Basically, what you get is 6 months to do I don't want to say that. Well, no, it's a training.
It's training.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the 6 months of the training for you to be able to actually take the certification test. So, for me, that would be August. I would start it in August, and then I would want to try to take it by like December or something like that. But I'm just crazy.
So are you going for the PHR or the SPHR?
I'm trying to think if I'd have to look at
are
it
you
again,
stumped?
No. I'm trying to remember if they offer the SPHR. I thought it was just
yes,
the
PHR.
Because in California, we have the PHR CA because California has to be different than everybody else.
Different? Sure. We'll use that word.
We'll use that word. But no, they have that one too. I'd have to look. I think you're right. I think SPHR, because the other one that I was looking at was the global PHR, which they don't offer.
Okay.
I would most likely be looking at the senior side of it. And then I'm also going to take, I started studying for my SHRM, which is the Society of Human Resources Management, CP, which is a certified professional. So trying to get
Leo Vincent Menezes, sorry about that, I'm messing your name up. He recommends the Veterans Beer Club. Have you been involved in that yet?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes.
All right. Hey, give them a shout out then.
So VBC is awesome, and they have them all over the country. So if you just Google Veterans Beer Club, I know there's one in Orlando. I was going to the one in San Diego. Right now we're doing them virtual. I went to one downtown San Diego, and then obviously COVID happened, and they've been online now. They're great. It's a networking. It's people that are still active duty, and then people that have gotten out that are now veterans, and you're hooking people up and networking, and It's fantastic.
And that's what it's all about, because when you transition, so you have a mentor, right?
I have a bunch.
See, it's not about just one. You have to have a few mentors because they're
It's
so
fun.
valuable. They can hold you accountable. They can hold you
Hmm.
to timelines, and they don't pull punches. They can say, you know what, you
Oh
didn't do
no.
this, so it's going to happen. So explain mentorship to transition folks.
So I have mentors through like two different places. I do ACP. Um, my ACP mentor is a lady named Edith, who's actually in New York. She works for a company called Stericycle. And
Okay.
then I also, and ACP, so that's American Corporate Partners for anybody who doesn't know. It's a year long. You get a mentor for a year, and you check in every month. You get goals.
How much does
You
that
set
cost?
goals. A whole nothing. A whole
So
nothing.
free mentorship for a year?
Free. Free, free, free.
All right, so I'm
And
going to
then,
post that. I'm going to post a link right now onto the comments so they can get to that right now.
yes,
Go
good
ahead.
idea. And then Veterati is the other one. I'm going to shout out a bunch of people right now for Veterati. Bruce, you know who you is. Destiny, David Trenholm, Bruce Thompson. I should say the last name, shouldn't I?
David Trenholm, he's a veteran mentor.
Mhm.
He was on here a couple days ago. Good
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Because actually, he's the one who was like, "Oh, Marina, you should totally go on," and I was like, "Okay." And
It's
then, yeah,
fun though, right? This is fun.
Bruce Thompson. I realized I wasn't saying last names. Destiny Priet. Oh gosh, who else? Colleen Schuster. There's
So
so many
Veterani
people.
is a group of really volunteers that can give you mentorship, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
And
perfect.
there's got to be hundreds. There's hundreds, and you can do it by where you are in your transition. So if you need help, like you can't figure out, okay, do I want to do program management or do I want to go IT? If
Yeah.
you're in a state of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do when I get out? You can mark that. If you're in a state of, I need help networking with companies,
Yeah.
or you can choose which one you are, and it'll actually change the algorithm so that you will get different people to show up.
Real fast, we have
In your,
two questions real fast.
yes.
Christopher Carpentier, he asks, outside of Veterati mentors and SFL TAP personnel, what organizations will review and provide feedback on resumes for free for veterans? So resume
Oh,
feedback, USO Pathfinders, right?
yes. Well, USO Pathfinder and Hire Heroes USA. The Commit Foundation was definitely one of them. There's so many. Gosh, that's why I use the Vets Industry website, is because I was like, oh my gosh, everything is here for your state. I loved using that because it here in San Diego, there's a bunch of women focused one. Like, I actually have a call with Jody Grenier, and she is the CEO of one of the Women Warriors
Okay.
foundations here in San Diego, which I would never have known about if I hadn't gone on the website and looked them up. It's fantastic.
And one more question here is Eric Serta. Where can I get that shirt, Matt? Let me tell you, these shirts are phenomenal. If you don't have one yet, they're brought to you by True Patriot. They design HireMilitary shirts, and you can. I'll post a link here for you right now to look at. They provide all of our shirts, and just go to the website and check them out. I do my half marathons in these shirts right here, and if you run races and don't like wear band-aids or lube up, you may get some chafing. These shirts don't chafe. It's awesome.
There you
But
go.
go ahead, Marina. So Veterati, and these are great. Or well, USO Pathfinders, and
Yeah.
you mentioned the woman CEO now.
Yeah. So she's for the Women Warriors here in it's a foundation here in San Diego.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Hire Heroes.
So really, Hire Heroes USA, USO Pathfinders.
Yeah.
Check them out. Give them an opportunity. Give them your resume. But I will tell you right now, your resume is not your most important thing. Networking,
Yeah.
and some more networking is what you need to do.
Yeah, people can follow or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always putting stuff out there. Like I put out a thing yesterday, which people just lost their mind. It was words to use in your resume instead of using I did this. It's like because people use the same words. Like if you think about performance evaluations or fit reps or things like that, people use developed instead of saying developed. It has like this many words for developed.
Some synonyms.
Yes, thank you. That's the word. Yes,
some more articulated words.
Yes. And then another one I posted was right underneath it because I found another one was based on your skills. So if you're talking about like communication skills, it has another set of a bunch of words to help you change what you're saying. Because, using the same thing, I developed it, undeveloped, and I also developed, and I oversaw, and I oversaw, and I oversaw, people are going to be like, I'm sorry, what did you do now? Yeah.
You're boring me to tears now, yeah. They say. Hey, for anyone that wants to connect with Marina, I will, after the broadcast, I will edit the post to make sure her name is tagged in here. Go find her by the post and connect with her because she's a diversity inclusion expert, would you say?
I would call myself a subject matter expert, yeah.
There you go. She's just me right there, everybody.
I just did the hair flip. But please, and I tell this to people all the time, goodness gracious, and this is one thing about LinkedIn, when you connect with people, send like even a tiny message that says, hey, I saw you on the blah, blah, blah. I would love to connect with you. Because I don't know who's connecting me for what reason. And if we have connections already, I'm obviously more likely to say, sure. But if I have no idea who you are, I'm going to be like, yeah, are you trying to hack me?
And Andrea Rathbun just said, also so important to move away from military lingo. You're not a squad leader, you're a department manager or team leader, something, right? But you find those terms. The USO Pathfinder, Hire Heroes USA can help find those terms that you need to help you out.
And honestly, you can Google different military translation websites, and there's obviously I can't think of any right now, but I know which website is that?
As you think about that, Jason Lee asks, anyone who has a resource for PMP certification for free? Yes, Jason. Onward Opportunity. Yeah. That's right. PMP. Onward Opportunity 020. They have a online version. If you don't have the in-class version, check them out.
And I would look at, I think it's PM Pro Learn as well, is another. I'm not sure
if they're free, but Onward Opportunity is a great resource.
Oh, absolutely.
Use them because they're great, and we both use them for our HR certifications, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be doing mine.
Truth be told, I went through the training. I haven't tested out yet. Ken Mays. I'm one of those people. I will get it eventually. I promise. I need it. But I will post real fast the Onward Opportunity link. Check it out, Jason. And Marina, so you talked about what resources you used. So since you're retiring, you're probably offered the Survivor Benefits Plan, right? SBP. So you're offered it. So I would ask, these aren't easy conversations about death and finances and retirement. But for me personally, my wife and I, we said no for SBP. We chose to go life insurance. What are you doing and why?
I am also going to be doing term / whole life, probably a mix of the two. So SBP, for people who have a spouse that is, it sounds funny to say significantly less younger than them, it could be a good thing. But I am 5 years older than my husband. And so, sorry.
You're proud of that. Be proud of that, right?
But no, I'm 5 years older than my husband, so I most likely will not be the one to die first. because my grandmother is still alive and she's in her 90s and stuff.
Wow.
So that's
Congrats.
the French.
Happy
That's
birthday,
the French
Grandma. My
blood.
goodness.
That's the French blood side of me.
Good.
But yeah, because my mother is still French, never naturalized to the States, and I speak fluent French and yada yada. But back to what we were talking about. Yeah, I'm not going to take it because of that, and I would rather do my 30-year term life, which is going to be less expensive, but then it would also pay out in a much bigger way than 55% of the base pays, which is what you would get.
And just to be clear, term life doesn't pay out unless you die. So if you
Right.
outlive your term life, congratulations for one thing, but it's a 30-year security blanket for your family.
Right.
So it doesn't pay out that way, but it will pay out more than, let's say, a SBP would in some cases. So consider your options and talk to a professional. I talk to them all the time. See a professional, have a conversation, and they'll go over the best option for you.
And I have a couple of different professionals that I've been talking to, because I've been doing networking events every 3 weeks on Saturdays.
Oh, good.
And there's some professionals from New York Life that are on there. I'm trying to think. There's
so many.
Company.
So
yeah, there's so many.
For me personally, I went to USAA first because I knew them.
Right.
But
yes.
for me,
their
rates were twice as much as I got from somebody else. So I was surprised. I'm not talking bad about USA, but I think they're using the military as a whole to determine premiums, and mine was twice as much, so I had to go somebody else.
Oh, and the other thing, the thing that is most important about if you do get insurance, do it before you do your VA rating, because that could skyrocket. You might not, like, let's say for your rating for civilian insurance.
Yep.
They rate you as a non-smoker, which is somebody that's relatively healthy and doesn't smoke. Otherwise, you can have something higher that's like, I'm not a financial person, so I don't know what the other rating
categories are.
Yeah. Right. But you will get rated much, much higher and need to pay much more if you don't get your insurance before you have all of your VA stuff done. Because what if you get rated at 90% or something like that?
All that
means you're
90%
disabled. Yeah, your premium's gonna be like zoosh, right? Instead of now, you don't know what percentage I'm going to get. Yeah. Let me get my stuff before that happens, and then
So I'd recommend if you're a year out from separation, look at life insurance policies. Look at it right now, and then if it's a good price, lock it in. The worst case is you get rated at a higher percentage and your premiums won't change because you're already locked in. But give it a shot, though. That's a great point, and that's appreciated. So when you get out next February or later on, are you going to stay in the San Diego area or going somewhere else?
So right now, we have a house, like I said, up in the next county up.
Okay.
Much less expensive up there.
Taxes, got to look at taxes now.
Okay. So, as of right now, yes, because my husband is going to be doing his master's degree at the university that he's at right now. He's finishing his bachelor's. So, yes. But then after that, we're looking at possibly going back to Europe or Japan. I grew up in Europe for quite a while when I was a kid. And as a younger adult, and then I was stationed for a very long time, 10 years in Japan. My daughter was even born in Japan. She got one of those cool certificate of birth abroad things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so whenever it says where she's born, it says Japan, and I'm like,
You have a small fan club growing on the comments feed real fast, and Matthew Brink says term life insurance, yes. And people love your information. So, and
that's
Mary,
Matt's my battle buddy / transition buddy. I made a new hashtag, transition buddy.
Hey, if it trends, let us know, okay?
I will.
And Mary Miller Neal says monthly premium. I guess so. For me, mine personally was I've got a $1 million 30-year policy, which I pay about $140 a month for. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but people say it's really cheap. I talked to someone today that got a $500,000 policy for about $60 a month. So it really depends on you and the company you go with and your health. So give it a shot. Just ask the questions.
Absolutely.
So going overseas, maybe. So why, changing subjects here, why do you think civilian employers should focus on hiring veterans?
Oh gosh, because we're fast learners. I mean, we have to be able to adapt to, and especially with what's going on right now. You know, we're really good in a crisis. I mean, we adapt really well. I mean, that's really it. That's not really it, but those are the main things that pop into my brain.
Hey, we're safety focused, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gosh, everybody learns about safety in the military. We learn about emergency management. Yeah. I mean, we learn so many different things. And that's one thing I love is that we learn so many different things, but that's
and you're generally drug free for the most part, because we have testing all the time.
Yeah, we get I call it the whiz quiz, and I have never. Wait,
it's
I've
one
always
test
passed,
I ever
I've never
passed.
failed. Wait, is that the one I don't want to pass? I can't. But yeah, obviously, I've never popped because I would be not here if I did.
That's true. A question from William Polkinen. So his question is, how many months out should someone request medical records and start the VA claims process?
So
go ahead.
6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months is so you really want to actually put it in at the 6-month mark. So normally what I've seen is 8-month mark, start getting stuff, and start talking to the one that I recommend. I don't know where he's at, but in San Diego, I've been told the DAV is the best.
DAV is phenomenal. That's who helped me.
Yeah. And Disabled American Veterans is what that stands for.
Yes. So DAV, VFW, they specialize in this stuff, and they help us out, and they're there for us. So use that resource, and they're free. And for me, they give you a chart of your outline, your body. It says they point where does it hurt, and they go over that with you.
I'll be like here, also here, and there, and there.
And they said, "How about this? How about this?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense." And so to me, use the resource. Don't be afraid to reach out. But yes, again, you can't officially start your claim process until you're 6 months from separation date, not including leave, none of that stuff. But get your medical records 2 or 3 months beforehand. If there's a backlog, get it before that. Just have the records for them, pass the DAV or VFW, and get the process started. Yeah,
because I mean, especially right now, because most medical facilities on the bases, it's by appointment. For most of the appointments right now, they're virtual. So if you need to make a request to get your record, they've been putting tables outside of the actual clinics so that you can do requests like that. But I mean, that's how it is on our base. I'm not sure if that's
so another question from Leo Vincent Menez. Hey, Leo Vincent, I'm going to say not your last name. Sorry.
Just call him Leo. Leo. Hey,
Leo. So the question is, he has talked to his wife about SBP, and he said, I guess $1 million insurance will be enough. It really depends on your situation. Why I chose that amount was I was told to get covered for 6 to 10 years of income. That's why I chose $1 million. Some have less, some have more. But it depends on what you want covered, how much you care about your family maybe. I'm not sure. But there's many factors. But have a discussion with your family and an expert. They'll tell you.
And it's how much you can afford to pay. Like if you can't afford to pay $140 a month like you do, and you can only afford to pay that $60, then you're going to go with that $500,000 until maybe you move up in your company and you can afford more. And then you go to the $1 million or the $1.5 million or however.
the key things here is don't look at your life insurance premium or your SBP as bills. Look at those as investments in your family, because if you pass away within 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is, you want to make sure they're taken care of. So invest in your families with that in mind, I guess.
And here's the thing, for term, that's going to be a payout. It's almost like you're renting term, because after the 30 years, it's gone. But if you do something like whole life, or I've heard of universal life, there's other ones too, where you can use that money. Let's say something happens where like what's going on right now with the economy, and you can actually pull money out and not be charged for that. It would obviously reduce the amount that would be paid out.
Yeah.
But you can either keep it and not pay it back, or you can pay it back in and keep going. And it just it's really neat. It's something that you definitely need to talk to a financial specialist about.
Definitely.
I'm not doing it justice.
No, and I'm not either. And Leo thinks I'm calling you Leo from now on. So he said it's fine. And Bruce Thompson chimed in too. He said he wished he knew this talk was going on today. This is my fault. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm not doing a very good job putting it out there. I'm getting better. Have patience, but thank you for your patience.
You must mark it.
I've got to do this better. So it's fun while it lasts, and these questions are good. So what else? I guess the final word. We're going on 36 minutes now. People get tired of this. What's some final words that you have? Some advice to transition veterans that are going to follow you.
So I want everyone to know that it is never too early to start this. If you start 2-3 years out, that's smart. That is not stupid in any way. People try to tell you, oh man, you're doing this way too early. No, bro, I'm not. Start early so that, networking, it shouldn't be a scary thing. But of course, depending on what kind of personality you have, it could be. But I'm
an introvert. How do I get over being an introvert and networking?
Well, think about it this way. You're behind a computer screen. So are they ever going to see you? No.
They're seeing us right now.
Well, no. But if you're going on LinkedIn and you're an introvert, it's the thank you sandwich. Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for the post you made today, blah, blah, blah. I really enjoyed what you said. I'm really looking at talking to you about a SkillBridge internship opportunity. Thank you for your consideration, Marina. Best regards, Marina.
Simple
Boom.
Stuff, right?
Thank you, sandwich. Thank you, whatever you want to say, thank you, me. And it's, like I said, unless we get back to pre-COVID where we're able to go and do the coffee, sit down and talk.
There's no more handshakes. They're gone.
Exactly. It's elbow.
Elbow now.
Yeah, it's all elbow. But then again, you know what? You sneeze in your elbow. Do you really want to do that now?
I don't do that. I sneeze in my hand.
Ew.
I know. I'm one of those. I'm old school. What can I say?
So I'm like, because somebody said to me, they're like, when you sneeze, you go, shoot. Now, do you really want to do elbow to elbow with somebody? Because that's really, really close.
So what else would you recommend people do besides networking? Because that's very important. So what else is one more thing that you can say, take my advice on?
Take my advice on? Look into as many veteran service organizations as you can. There is the National Resource Directory also that is fantastic because there's 45,000. Big number.
Wow.
I almost swore right there. Ooh, I almost used my sailor mouth.
I can't mute this.
I know. I was like, 45,000 beep. 45,000 VSOs, veteran service organizations throughout the United States. Okay? So, gosh, that's a huge number. There's so many out there, but make sure you do your research because some of them might not be on the up and up.
Well, if you're getting charged for something,
oh gosh,
just there's a huge network of veterans that have transitioned in the past
Yes.
that are there for you. The Hire
Yes.
Military team, we've all transitioned, whether it's in person or one's a spouse. So we've all
Yeah.
transitioned. We've been there. We can talk through this stuff with you.
You should never, ever, ever pay anyone to do your claim for the VA. You should never pay anybody to do your resume. There are so many different organizations that can help you with both of those. Don't
USO
ever
Pathfinders,
pay.
Hire Heroes
Yes.
USA, resume. There you go.
Oh my gosh, so many. And like we were talking about, the DAV, the VFW, et cetera, et cetera. You should never, ever have to pay anyone, especially while you're active duty. You know, just that's people trying to gouge military members because, you know, we're when you're in those last few months, those last year, last 6 months, you're starting to get a little frantic. You know, oh my gosh, this is coming to an end.
Well, if you haven't planned properly, I guess you may want to consider paying because you're paying for your lack of planning, I guess.
Right, but there's still no reason. There's still no reason to pay anyone.
Do it early.
There's so many different organizations that would do it for you for free. Shoot, just message me or Matt or anybody. Like, look at all my connections. So many people on there.
They're willing to help.
Are willing to help, yeah. And trust and believe, when I am retired, I will be on Veterati, so hit me up here in
6 to 12 months, right?
Yeah, 6 to 12 months from now.
Hey, Marina, I appreciate it today. You've been a pleasure, and you've got a small group of fan base over here. So please get back on the comments later on and check them out.
I will.
I will mention Marina's name in the post afterwards, so you can just click on it and connect with her. She's been a great.
There we go.
Rabinek. There you go, Marina Rabinek. She's there. No, it's good. You're good. You were going on camera. So, thank you very much today. We'll be on here again on Monday at 2 p.m. East Coast time. I think that's 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm not sure. I'm not good at math.
Yes. No, wait.
So
14 minus 3. Yes.
It's teamwork, just like transition, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll be on here again on Monday, 2 p.m. East Coast time, 11 a.m. Pacific. So until then, check us out on HireMilitary.us or LinkedIn channel, Facebook. Come to LinkedIn. Check us out. Marina, thank you very much. And I look forward to connecting in the future, okay?
All right.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye. You too.